Hello everyone, welcome to our learning community. Here, we share medical education and MCQ practice to help you succeed in international exams. Each video is designed to build understanding, inspire success, and make learning enjoyable. Together, we grow and create a brighter future. In today's lecture, we will discuss the physiology of respiration. The respiratory system performs several essential functions. It supplies the body with oxygen and eliminates carbon dioxide. It filters inspired air. It produces sound. It helps remove excess water and heat. It maintains a hydrogen ion concentration of the blood and regulates pH. The primary purpose of the respiratory system is to obtain oxygen for use by the body cells and to eliminate the carbon dioxide produced by cellular metabolism. Breathing or pulmonary ventilation consists of two phases. Inhalation draws air into the lungs. Exhalation forces air out of the lungs. The major respiratory vents include pulmonary ventilation, which is the exchange of air between the lungs and the atmosphere. External respiration, which is the exchange of gases between the alveoli and pulmonary capillaries. And internal respiration, which is the exchange of gases between systemic capillaries and tissue cells. Pulmonary ventilation has two phases. Inspiration is an active process requiring energy. The diaphragm contracts, moves downward and flattens, increasing the volume of the thoracic cavity. Expiration is a passive process that relies on the recoil of elastic fibers. The diaphragm relaxes, moves upward, and the lungs return to their resting position. These actions occur when the phrenic nerves stimulate the respiratory muscles. Tidal volume is the amount of air inhaled or exhaled during normal, quiet breathing. In a healthy adult, this is approximately 500 milliliters of air per breath. Inspiratory reserve volume is the additional amount of air that can be inhaled beyond normal tidal breathing. This volume is typically about 3,000 milliliters. Expiratory reserve volume is the extra amount of air that can be forcibly exhaled after the end of a normal exhalation. This value is usually around 1,100 milliliters. Residual volume is the amount of air that remains in the lungs even after the most forceful and complete expiration. It prevents lung collapse and is normally about 1,200 milliliters. These individual volumes combine to form lung capacities. Inspiratory capacity represents the maximum amount of air that can be inhaled after normal exhalation. It equals the tidal volume plus the inspiratory reserve volume, giving an approximate value of 3,500 milliliters. Functional residual capacity is the amount of air remaining in the lungs after a normal exhalation. It combines the expiratory reserve volume with the residual volume, resulting in approximately 2,300 milliliters. Vital capacity is the maximum amount of air that can be exhaled after the deepest possible inhalation. It is the sum of the tidal volume, the inspiratory reserve volume, and expiratory reserve volume, producing an average value of about 4,600 milliliters. Total lung capacity represents the maximum amount of air the lungs can hold. It is the sum of all pulmonary volumes and typically measures around 5,800 milliliters in a healthy adult. Respiration consists of three fundamental steps. Pulmonary ventilation is the movement of air between the atmosphere and the alveoli. External respiration is the exchange of gases between alveolar air and pulmonary capillary blood, where blood gains oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. Internal respiration is the exchange of gases between systemic capillaries and tissue cells. Within cells, metabolic reactions use oxygen and release carbon dioxide in production of energy. Inhalation occurs when the pressure inside the lungs becomes lower than atmospheric pressure, which is about 760 millimeters of mercury. This pressure drop is created by expanding the lungs through muscular contraction. Exhalation begins when respiratory muscles relax. The diaphragm rises due to its elasticity, and the ribs descend. Lung pressure becomes greater than atmospheric pressure, and air is expelled. Quiet exhalation is passive and results from elastic recoil of the lungs and thoracic wall, produced by stretched elastic fibers and the inward pull of alveolar surface tension. External respiration is the diffusion of oxygen from alveolar air into pulmonary capillary blood and the diffusion of carbon dioxide in the opposite direction. Deoxygenated blood becomes oxygenated and returns to the left side of the heart. This exchange occurs by simple diffusion. Internal respiration occurs as oxygenated blood from the left ventricle travels through systemic arteries into tissues. Oxygen diffuses from blood to cells and carbon dioxide diffuses from cells into the blood. Oxygen transport occurs mainly by hemoglobin. Only about 1.5% dissolves in plasma, while about 98.5% binds to hemoglobin in red blood cells. Each 100 milliliters of oxygenated blood carries about 20 milliliters of oxygen. Hemoglobin reversibly binds oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. In tissues, hemoglobin releases oxygen which diffuses into the cells. Several factors affect hemoglobin's affinity for oxygen. Acidity increases oxygen release. Carbon dioxide increases the formation of carbonic acid, lowering pH and promoting oxygen unloading. Increased temperature reduces affinity, allowing active tissues to receive more oxygen. 2,3-bisphosphoglycerate, produced during red blood cell metabolism, reduces hemoglobin's affinity for oxygen, enhancing oxygen delivery. Carbon dioxide is transported in the blood in three forms. About 7% is dissolved in plasma. About 23% forms carbamino compounds by binding to proteins, including hemoglobin. About 70% is converted to bicarbonate ions inside red blood cells due to the action of the enzyme carbonic anhydrase. Respiration is regulated to match metabolic demands. Neurons and medulla and pons control breathing rhythm and depth. Regulation maintains oxygen and carbon dioxide levels and stabilizes blood pH. Nerve impulses travel through the phrenic and intercostal nerves to stimulate respiratory muscles. The respiratory centers consist of the dorsal respiratory group and the ventral respiratory group in medulla, and the pneumotactic center and apneustic center in pons. The inspiratory center establishes the basic breathing rhythm. The expiratory center activates muscles for forceful exhalation. The pneumotactic center inhibits prolonged inspiration. The apneustic center prolongs inspiration when needed. Chemical regulation depends primarily on carbon dioxide concentration, hydrogen ion concentration, and oxygen concentration. Increased carbon dioxide stimulates both peripheral and central chemoreceptors, increasing ventilation. Increased hydrogen ions stimulate chemoreceptors, enhancing breathing to reduce carbon dioxide and restore pH. Decreased oxygen levels stimulate peripheral chemoreceptors, increasing breathing rate and depth. Important respiratory terms include apnea, temporary cessation of breathing; tachypnea, rapid breathing; bradypnea, slow breathing; dyspnea, difficult or labored breathing; hypoxemia, decreased oxygen in arterial blood; hypoxia, decreased oxygen in tissues; hypercapnia, increased carbon dioxide in blood; hypocapnia, decreased carbon dioxide; physiologic dead space, regions not involved in gas exchange; central cyanosis, bluish discoloration due to reduced oxygen. That brings us to the end of today's lecture on physiology of respiratory system. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this lecture helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future lessons. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next session.